When I tell you, if you knew how many times I tried to record this intro, it's so annoying how sometimes I put the camera on and I'm like, what's English? I've never heard of her. This intro is probably gonna irritate you a little bit because you've probably heard it before, but fingers crossed that it doesn't, okay? And it's worth it, so just stay for a sec. You do not lack confidence in the way that you think you do. You just have confidence in lack. Sorry, somebody had to tell you, and it's always gonna be me. I think that this is such an important topic that's so overlooked. Like, I don't know why this isn't discussed more often, but truly everything that's wrong in your life, that, you know, in your relationships, the way that you view work, the way that you view yourself, it can be changed with mindset. So let's lay that out right now. A lot of life is about perspective, if not the majority, if not all of life. But I know I can't possibly fit every single case scenario into that generalized statement of you can just fix your life with your mindset. But I do think it's worth mentioning that your mindset can completely determine what direction your life goes in. It can determine your success. I think that mindset is really everything. It's not viewed that way in the way that it should be. This should be discussed more in psychology and in spirituality, but we don't have time for all that. This is probably going to be a short video because I'm in a rush. So let's talk about having confidence in lack. The reason why I live and die by this saying, you do have confidence, you just are confident in lack, is because you are so confident that something is not going to work out for whatever particular reason. And I feel like in every video I post, I say this, but I think it's important to reiterate, I do not have the perfect life. But it's not because this doesn't work. It's simply because I don't do it well all the time. Like, I get caught up in the human experience, I get caught up in society and the physical world, and it does derail me. And you have to have a good balance of the physical and the spiritual and the mental and all those other components. You have to have a good balance of that to be a functioning individual who also happens to be a world citizen, a citizen of planet Earth, if you will. But when I look back on experiences that were particularly difficult for me, scenarios where I didn't get what I wanted, I would always kind of lean more towards expecting the worst. When I was younger, I was raised on the narrative of hoping for the best, but expecting the worst, so that you could be pleasantly surprised if something went right. I also grew up with family members where if I had some kind of competition for something and I invited them to it, they would tell me last minute that they couldn't make it, but then show up anyways. Get my hopes up to bring me down. Hello? And I think that that's where a lot of my issues with having confidence in lack comes from. I think in a lot of ways too, everything connects, so it's really easy for me to find reasons why it doesn't work, but at the end of the day, I'm choosing to have confidence in lack because it's what I'm comfortable with, it's what I'm used to, it's what I've done for so long. Doesn't mean I want to stay here though, so let's get into that. Now, when I'm saying you have confidence in lack, what do I mean by that, right? So if you have confidence in lack, let's put you in a situation where there's two sides. One way is the more favorable way, this way is the unfavorable way of a scenario turning out. You have confidence in the unfavorable way. If you're like, you know, I'm gonna go approach this person or whatever, okay? And you're like, oh, but I lack the confidence. It's not that you don't have the confidence to approach them. It's just that you have confidence in the fact that it might not work out. You might get rejected. You're more confident in that than you are in the experience itself. And I think that one thing that helps me to combat this outcome is that I know at the end of the day, yes, we can manifest things. I believe we can draw things into our life, but I also think that there's this path of authentic desire, and if whatever you're chasing isn't in alignment with that, it's not going to work out because it's not meant to for your highest good. So, you know, this is where we get into maybe like particularly spiritual conversations, and this might not be for everyone, but when I say highest good, I mean your deepest core desires. If something is not working out for you and you're persisting and you're trying and it's like to no avail, maybe reflect on whether or not it is what you desire. And the reason that I bring that up is because it's like, listen, whether you have confidence in lack or confidence in security and that you're able to follow through with whatever it is you want confidence in, it's better for you to align with a reality that says, okay, if this doesn't work out, it was an experience and it was for my highest good. Or if this kind of derails me, it's derailing me towards something that is more in alignment for me. For example, I had an event to go to this past weekend and I had a lot of issues with my car. It was leaking. You know, my son's father was like, your car's gonna blow up, like if you drive it, so don't drive it. And my whole job is driving, and then I had an event that was hour 20 minutes away, and I was persistent about going to this event. I had planned to go to it for months. I had a reading that said it was gonna be a really good experience. You know, I was talking to all of my friends, my support system. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. Like, what if something goes wrong? And And I really had to stop myself, because as I've mentioned in other videos recently too, I've had a rough last couple years and it's just been a lot of reflection. And one of those main reflections was my association to fear and just things not turning out the way that I wanted them to. Now, whether or not I had that association association with fear because things have not turned out how I've wanted them to recently, or because I've clung to this fear where I'm like, I don't want to get my hopes up, and then I kind of create this negative space around me and I attract that reality. Who knows? But what I do know is I made a last minute decision. It was a calculated risk, that's what I called it, and I said, I'm gonna go to this fucking event. Okay? I'm going to go to this event, and if something happens, guess what? I know to call my insurance and have them come give me a tow, okay? But I was like, I'm tired of living in fear, and this situation might actually surprise me. And it did. Part of why that reading was right about it being an event that was life-changing for me is because of that right there. I chose to have confidence in what I wanted to do, and I chose to say, hey, listen, I really want to go to this event. Even if I didn't get the reading, I really would have wanted to go to this event because of everything that it stood for. It was so in alignment with what I believed, and I was looking forward to be surrounded by a community of people who think the same. Because I had confidence in that being for me, I was like, I know this will be good for me. I know that I'm not intended to miss out on that. I can choose that, or I can choose, oh, what if something happens? What the hell do you think I'm going to choose? That's right, I went and it was a life-changing experience. And again, this is why. Full circle, babe. Since I've gotten home, I've struggled with the idea of like, if I didn't go. Like, I would have so many regrets. Everything that happened that night, from getting there, I went to the bookstore early, I got this amazing book, and it's been also changing my life, and we don't have that book in my state, at the bookstores in my state for whatever reason. So I was able to get the book, and I was so happy I found it, and then I sat there and I read it for like an hour until the event started. Went to the event, beautiful experience. I have no regrets. And it's because I chose to have confidence in the best case scenario rather than having confidence in something going wrong with my car. And it took a lot of like focus for me to be like, I'm not going to live in fear with this. That was a pivotal decision in this point in my life. And that reason being that if I chose to align with fear, and if I chose not to go, I would have sat around wondering what I missed out on. I would have sat around wondering how it would have changed my life, and if I would still feel the way that I would be feeling today if I didn't go. I think that that event and the realizations that I came to through experiencing all of the experiences of that night would have happened regardless, maybe in another setting at a later date, but I think it would have postponed what I'm feeling right now, which is the utmost clarity. The fact that I never lack confidence. I just had confidence in things going wrong. I just have confidence that I'm not good enough. That's still confidence, it's just not where you want it to be. And this is when I get into that topic of mindset being so fucking important. Everything that you need to change the way that you view the world and the way that you receive experiences, you already have. You don't have to find the confidence or find self-love or reclaim your power. It's within you. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to call your power back from people. You don't have to call your confidence and your authenticity back from people. You are it. It's just a matter of aligning with the frequency that is the utmost you. And I talk about this all the time, but science and spirituality, babe, they coexist. So before you write something off, maybe you're not spiritual, maybe you're like, girl, what are you talking about? Maybe you haven't even made it this far. But for those of you who did, but know that frequency exists, energy exists, right? And when you're vibrating higher, you are being your most authentic self. If you're vibrating at a high frequency, you're gonna attract things that vibrate at the same frequency, okay? Because it's like a little click, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's painful to hear what I'm about to say sometimes, and it's hard to accept because a lot of us like to stay in a victim mindset where the world and life happens to us rather than us being able to kind of like direct ourselves. But you need to know that you have a choice with how things go. Now, if my car did break down, for example, if my car did break down on the way to the event, would I still be feeling this way? Yeah. I would still be proud of myself that I took the risk. And while something might have happened on my ride up there or on my ride back, I knew that that was the risk, and I had confidence in taking that risk. I chose to have confidence in something other than fear, and that's what matters. It's the same way with if you're approaching someone you're interested in. If you feel like you lack confidence in those situations, it's not that you lack confidence. You have confidence that you are not good enough to be appealing to that person, or whatever it might actually be. You get the gist. But I think that it's really important to recognize that you have control over this. And while again, it might be a hard pill to swallow, it might not really make sense to you right now, maybe you need to hear it a couple more times, or maybe you need to see it for yourself. Whatever the case may be, it's truth. And when you decide to stop living in victimhood and in your confidence in lack, that's when your life will start to look differently. It doesn't have to be fear of something crazy happening, like your car breaking down on the side of the road or this person cheating on you. But have awareness of your past experiences and how those might align with your confidence in lack in certain situations. If you have a confidence that, you know, your partner's gonna cheat on you. Maybe it's because you have trust or attachment issues, whatever it might be, okay? You have confidence in something because of something that happened prior. That's what we need to pour light into. That's what we know we need to fix, so to speak, or at least adapt and grow out of. You think that it's all these outside forces, but you're in a room surrounded by mirrors. You have confidence. You have potential to be the most confident person that exists. It's just a matter of where you put that confidence. Know that you don't have to look outside of you. You don't need to know you have a support system. You don't need to have a partner. You don't need to have a specific job to feel the confidence that you want to feel. You just have to shift it. And once we disalign with external factors being the resolve to our problems and realign with our internal connection being the resolve to our problems, that's when you do realize you have control over it all. I love you. I hope that this helped, and yeah, have a good day.